Okay, today's lesson is on organization of essay into paragraphs. So we should all be on slide 9. Our rough and final draft should be up, and we also have access to our sticky notes that we had been using. So whichever one you have your outline on, make sure you have that available, and where you have your sticky note, where you have your websites. Okay? So today, organizing and revising, we're working in the rough draft. And the first thing I'm going to want you to do is watch this video about paragraph writing. Then I want you to organize your research so evidence, ideas, and supporting details are grouped together in your paragraphs. That's why when we made our outline, we grouped everything together. So when you either have it on your rough draft or on your sticky notes, you need to see that. Because when you start writing, you're going to use that information to write your paragraphs. Now, I have included a timer, so you can write for 10 minutes, and then you can stand up, like stretch your arms, twist your body, then sit back down, set the timer again. Keep doing that until your 3 body paragraphs are written. Not optional is to use transitional words. Okay, so what I did was I opened up and gave you a video here about transitional words. So you can watch that if you're not sure what transitions are. Those are like when you go from one paragraph to the next, like in addition to, furthermore, first of all, in conclusion. Those are what you're going to do. So you're going to write your body paragraphs. After you are done and you have them written in your rough draft, and you have your websites, then I want you to watch this video, and I'm going to give you an idea how to revise your paragraphs, okay? So here, say I'm in my rough draft, and I had written my paragraphs, and remember, you're going to want a topic sentence that identifies the paragraph's focus. The sentence expands on the topic and shows how it fits into the broader argument. You have quotations, you cited your sources. If you quoted a passage or statistics, give your interpretation or explain it. Conclusion of the paragraph, did all the sentences relate together? Have you included enough evidence or examples to demonstrate your point? Does all evidence fit together and tell a coherent story? Does it all fit together? And remember, we're going to use the rubric. Supporting details show perceptive evidence of critical thinking and analysis. Rough draft indicates the ability to reflect on better word choices. Again, we're using another color here. You justify your opinions, reasons, and evidence with examples and explanations. Transitional words and phrases. Now we're starting to get into this when we're producing text. Justify his reason with evidence and 3 supporting details. So we're going to be checking. This is one paragraph that has the above. Okay? So here, Susan B. Anthony is considered the principal organizer of the women's suffrage movement in the U.S. and gave it force and direction for nearly half a century. In May 1890, the National American Women's Suffrage Association was formed, which became the largest and most influential suffrage organization in the U.S. Anthony was the dominant figure of the organization. By the time of her death in 1906, women had achieved suffrage in a few states, and several followed soon after. In 1878, along with Stanton, Anthony had arranged for the presentation of an amendment in Congress which gave women the right to vote. Popularly known as Susan B. Anthony Amendment, it later became the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution in 1920, which granted the women to vote. And here's your insight work citation, in-text citation. Anthony and Stanton established the newspaper The Revolution, was published weekly between January 8th 1868, and February 17, 1872. It was a radical publication that primarily supported women's rights, especially suffrage. Among other things, it reported on advancements made by women, discrimination against them, and improvements in divorce laws. After a period of reduced activity during the American Civil War, the Revolution brought back women's issues at the forefront again. So I went down here, and first of all, we need a transition into this paragraph. So I picked furthermore. Susan B. Anthony is considered the principal organization. Now, I would like, I'm going to make sure I put one in the United States, and gave it force and direction for nearly half a century. In May 1890, the National American Women's Suffrage Association was formed, which became the largest and most influential suffrage in the United States. Again, I'm going to make this not abbreviated, it's more formal. And then I'm going to add Susan B. Anthony was the dominant figure of the organization. By the time of her death, women had achieved suffrage in a few states and several soon after. In 1807, along with Stanton, Anthony, it's Elizabeth Cady Stanton. I want to make sure that we sound professional. Susan B. Anthony had arranged for the presentation of an amendment in Congress which gave women the right to vote, popularly known as Susan B. Anthony Amendment. It later became the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution in 1920, which granted women the right to vote. Now here, again, I'm going to make it consistent. Make sure that it's purple. Now here, I didn't see the part where you have to like tie it together more solidly. So I ended up adding, as the evidence indicates, Susan B. Anthony was a driving force in obtaining women's right to vote. Then when I was reading this, I went back to my reasons and evidence, and I didn't put down the Revolution publication. So all this to me is extra. I already have my 3 reasons, so I just crossed it out. Okay? Now I may go back and edit it later and add it back in, but for now I think it's too much. So this is what it's like to revise and edit before you move forward. Now I am going to go back here, and we have created our body essays. We've revised them. You can do this. You got this. Remember, you ask the teacher for help if you need it. And that's it for today. Thanks.